So YouTube, today we got another reaction video, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the family, bro. It takes you 1 second. So today we are going to react to Myron, and it's a woman talking to him, and the title says women sees the reality of how feminists is like messing up women nowadays or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't get the title rights at all every time I say it, so I don't know why I keep telling y'all. I should just give a simple description of it and then just hop into the video, but I don't. I take the hard way out. So let's get into it. Let me stop rambling.
Amount of people that it takes to run a fully functioning, well-endowed society that takes people of all kinds of creed, right?
Sure.
So when you take away that matter of choice from both men and women, why do you then believe that that will be a better society?
So you're mentioning this thing about choice, and I think that's an illusion, right?
Bro, chat, I always say this, but why like every feminist all look the same? Like they all look like weird. Like just one of those people that, you know, you ever have like a classmate that's like smart as hell, but you like, bro, if I ask her, is she gonna make a scene type shit? Like, she look weird. But, like, sometimes she won't make a scene. Sometimes she will. That's what, like, feminists always remind me of. I don't know why. Like, people that, like, if you say a certain thing, they'll make a whole scene. But if you agree with them, they won't make a whole scene.
And we need to be honest here when it comes to women pursuing education and a career. What we tell them is, hey, look, go get a job, make money, enter the workforce, and then you can have a family at the end of that. And what ends up happening a lot of times is women follow this route, get an education, get money, get a job, get a good career, and then when they try to find a guy at the end of that, it becomes significantly harder.
Hi.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
A little bit. You might have to move the mic down for her, guys.
No, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's all the way down. Damn. The struggles of being 5 foot, nothing. Anyway, what's your name?
Myron, nice to meet you.
Byron? Okay, cool.
Myron, yeah.
What is? Sorry.
Myron.
Myron, gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Ozzy.
Okay. How are you,
Sorry.
Ozzy?
I have no clue who you are. So this
No
is
problem.
very interesting. So I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
I noticed that you keep up bringing up the nuclear family,
Yeah.
right? So you talk about valuing the nuclear family, and I'm trying to ask you why. So like if you
Why?
can like,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
very
Yeah, so the
clearly
reason why
just
is
explain
because
that.
children are the future. And in order to raise children properly, you need a mom and a dad. You need that balance. And that can only really be done in a nuclear family. This is why I'm not a fan of gays adopting or lesbians adopting. I think, you know, the child needs to have a strong father and a mother in the household for the best chance at being a productive member of society. That's why the nuclear family is so important, because our future is built on that, which are the children.
That is true, though. It's some real shit, bro. Like, if anybody, like, got raised, like, I don't know anything about people getting raised by gays, so I don't really know. But, like, I just know, like, my grandma raised me, like, damn near, and, like, that's, like, a single person. So, like, shit, like, sometimes, like, I ain't listening to some niggas, like, bro, fuck you talking about? But then I see some of my friends that got raised by, like, both parents, like, they, like, really, like, can listen. So, like, yeah, I mean, I think people do need, like, a strong father figure in their life and a strong mother figure in their life.
Okay. And then going to then the patriarchy.
The patriarchy, okay?
Yeah.
What about it?
So you're talking about how like you value it and you find it good that men are then forced to go out and do these things. So you're talking about kind of like the men's rights issues, right?
Yes, I think men, there's a burden of performance on us. And I think that that's something to embrace and rise to versus trying to be equal to women.
Okay, so you believe that men should not have a choice?
As far as in what regard? Working?
Not just working, but just style of life and like, so taking away that choice from men and just generally from people of like their direction in life.
I think every guy should be prioritizing, you know, whether they're building themselves up to eventually have a family, right? I understand that, you know, for men, it takes time for us to acquire our value versus women kind of have the value up front. But I do think that every guy should be striving to become successful so that eventually a family will be dependent upon him.
Okay. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I don't think women should be working. I think they should be prioritizing motherhood, not jobs.
So, taking our society and the amount of people that it takes to run a fully functioning, well endowed society, that takes people of all kinds of creed, right?
Sure.
So, when you take away that matter of choice from both men and women and everyone in between, why do you then believe that that will be a better society?
Well, the thing is this, right? So you're mentioning this thing about choice, and I think that's an illusion, right? And we need to be honest here when it comes to women pursuing education and a career. What we tell them is, hey, look, go get a job, make money, enter the workforce, and then you can have a family at the end of that. And what ends up happening a lot of times is women follow this route, get an education, get money, get a job, get a good career, and then when they try to find a guy at the end of that, it becomes significantly harder. Because what's ended up happening is the woman has risen up in status, risen up in her income, and her standards are higher, so a lot of guys aren't going to qualify. And I think if we were honest with women and told them, look, if you pursue a career, there's a very good chance that you might not get your first choice. I think that's a good starting point. Obviously, we can't just like say, take all the jobs and that's it, but I think we need to start being more honest with women and letting them understand that you got to pick one. You can't really have it all. And this is something that we've been lying to women about for decades, that they can have it all. And then they end up at 31 years old, unmarried, no kids, wondering why guys don't take them seriously, but it's because they didn't know the truth about this stuff.
So then how do you feel about...
That's low-key true. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I have a couple people I know that are older. And like same way with guys too though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like people that take their craft very seriously and they hold like a lot of people to a higher standard. So like, yeah. But I see it more in women though. I do see it in men sometimes. Because they will get with a girl and then they won't meet their standards, so then like they move on quick. But then I also see like some girls, they struggling to just even get into a relationship at that age. So I can see it.
The same thing, but then happening towards men. Like
In what regard?
Take you for example. You say that you have, like, I think you mentioned you have an open relationship, but specifically on your end.
Only on my end, yeah.
So you take the nuclear family, which is a loyal and faithful husband.
Only women could be sluts. We are the slut makers. This girl's over here trying to call me a slut. Hey, we're the slut makers, man. There's no such thing as a man that's a slut.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I disagree with that. There are plenty of people that are whores. But I don't know how the fuck they laughing, bro. They probably got boyfriends to be on their ass. So shit, that's damn near an open relationship.
May I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So you're talking about how you have an open relationship. So you have the nuclear family.
Yep.
The stereotypical nuclear family is a loyal working husband who goes
Sure.
to the office or whatever, makes money, comes home to his wife, provides for his wife, takes care of his wife. You value highly the nuclear family, but you yourself are not taking a part of it. Why is that?
Well, I have a certain goal that I want to hit financially before I, go ahead and have a family. Some business aspirations, and I want to make sure I get that out of the way so that when it is time to be a father, I can focus 100% on that and not necessarily be as tied up with work. So I'm and that's kind of one of the, the good things about being a man is that though we are not born with value, if we work hard enough, we can create value, and that gives us a bit more time on the time clock. Versus for women, they have a fairly finite amount of time to be able to build a family. So for me, I'm focused on hitting a certain financial goal first so that when I do have my children, money never becomes a problem again.
But you talk about how women are born with an inherent value.
Yes.
I would differ that men are as well. And what you are doing, so the nuclear family, part of men's value comes from being loyal and being hardworking. And I feel like when you miss half of that, like what you're doing, you are then degrading, degrading, thank you, whoever said that, the nuclear family and the idea of this, because you take this very almost shallow.
Low-key, I agree with her though. I agree with her. You say that you need a strong father figure in your life and all that if you have kids and shit, type shit, smooth shit, right? Yeah, but you in an open relationship. That's not teaching your kids the right way. That's not teaching your kids to see like, oh, that's a loving father right there. Bro, I just walked in on my pops busting open the neighbor, bro. Like, what? Like, just because you in an open relationship don't mean that's like right. Like that shit. Like, so I agree with her on that one.
And kind of hollow, because every person has issues, and the nuclear family is by no means perfect. And you are then kind of showing the issues with it by your own actions and by your own kind of disregard for.
Well, my thing is, I think, again, I teach guys, hey, look, this is what you need to do, right? This is how you become attractive, get your life together. Now, when I arm guys with these tools, what they choose to do it is up to them. If they want to go ahead and have a family immediately, that's fine. If they want to go ahead and play the field, that's fine. But my thing is, I want men to be in a position. The problem is that a lot of guys are in a relationship where their woman controls everything. She's making the decisions, she's bossing him around. There's no leadership there. I want the guy to be in a position where he can kind of dictate the terms. And if he decides, look, I want a family and I want to have a family early, I want him to do that through choice, not through necessity. A lot of guys are monogamous or in a relationship through necessity, not because they want to be. So I just want guys to be able to have that choice. That's the big thing. And then eventually, obviously, work towards a family. But I think the other thing, too, that's important is that men have to understand how modern women work.
4 minutes in the event. Thank you.
My last question here is,
Sure.
What's your goal with coming out to this college campus where you have all of these people who very obviously are heckling you and do not want you to be here? What's your goal? Because obviously you're not really going to change people's minds with some of the more hateful messages that you're portraying. Like, why are you here?
To start a revolution, to tell people the truth, something that's been missing for a very long time.
Chad, I ain't gonna lie, that was probably one of the like more peaceful like women encounters I've ever seen with that nigga. Like, women hate that nigga, bro. Sorry, women hate that nigga, bro. So, like, that was probably the peacefulest one I've seen. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So, yeah, tell me your thoughts in comments below. Like I told you, I agree with her on the whole nuclear side of the family thing, because you can't be like, you're gonna show your kid good side, but you're still doing your wife dirty. Like, I get it, she know it. Like, that's still dirty to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Tell me your thoughts and opinions down below. Don't forget to put God first and love your family. Peace, y'all.